A lot of people say vodkas are all the same. They're not. I have 3 different types of vodkas to show you just how different they can be. Hey guys, welcome to Gabe's Liquor Cabinet, and I love making cocktails inspired by history. As a result, I have acquired quite a large amount of liquor over time. Around 180 bottles right now is my current collection, and today I wanted to take you guys through some of my vodkas that I have in stock. And we have 3 very different types of vodkas, 2 of which I have actually used in episodes, and 1 which is a local vodka, which I probably will use in the future and is very, very good. So we'll start out today with Russian Standard. Russian Standard is one of my favorite vodkas to use in cocktails. It has a very clean flavor. It's made in St. Petersburg, and depending on which store you're trying to shop at, can be actually hard to get. Here where I live in the Tampa Bay area, Total Wine has made it a very particular stance that they didn't want to support Russian companies during the Russian-Ukraine war, so it can be a little bit difficult to find Russian Standard in those big brands. If you look at smaller liquor stores around the area, you'll be able to find them. I'm sure in your areas you'll be able to find some stores that normally has this in stock. But we're gonna give it a taste here just to kind of give you guys a little bit of the flavor profile and what it normally will come out to be the expectations of this particular vodka. Like I said, I've used this vodka a lot. One of my cocktails that I really like that I've used this vodka in is actually a drink that I made after my favorite Russian playwright, which is Anton Chekhov, and that drink is called The Gun in the First Act. I have my episode linked below if you guys want to check that out. It's a very good cocktail. It uses 2 different types of vodkas, Florida cane vodka and also Russian Standard, and then a little creme de violet. It's deliciously botanical and a little bit smoky because I actually include some mezcal. I don't know if you can see that, but I actually add some mezcal in there to add some smokiness, because if you read Chekhov, you know that it normally has a little bit of an explosive ending. But let's give a taste here to the Russian Standard vodka. So pour it out just a little bit. Beautiful clear color. Russian Standard is usually made from grain, so very clean taste. Smells like alcohol. Most vodkas usually have this very clean smell to it. Something that you would normally clean the house with, but they're fantastic to mix with. So let's give it a taste. Subtly sweet on the front. Definitely some sting to it. Right initially, I can feel there's a sharpness at the front of the tongue. As it moves back, kind of continues that theme. As it goes down, has a little bit of a burn, but very smooth overall. I'm not coughing over this in any particular way. After all, this is 80 proof, which means that it's 40% alcohol. Very good, subtly sweet. So that means that this is gonna go really, really well with other sweet alcohols. Like for example, the Gun in the First Act. That is a fairly sweet drink, and it really plays well there. It's also a great balancing alcohol because it adds some extra booziness without being overpowering or really adding any significant flavor of its own, so it can let additional flavors shine. The next alcohol that we have for you is Outer Space Vodka, and one, beyond the fact that this bottle looks so cool, the alien head, the slight green tint of the glass that they've used looks fantastic. This actually hails from France, and according to the importer that brings it into the United States, which is Stoller Imports, if you look on their website, what they claim about this particular vodka is that it is 5 times distilled with French grain, and then it is filtered through a number of different filters. One of them happens to be Meteorite, which they claim is 4 billion years old, which makes it really, really cool if that is a substantiated claim. I'm going to choose that it's the truth. After all, why not filter delicious vodka through Meteorite just to give it that extra otherworldly taste and flavor, and also the prestige of that. Initially, this has a very fruity and particularly citrusy profile on the nose aromatically, as opposed to the Russian Standard, which is more clean, more towards the grain side, a little sweeter. This one's a little brighter. Almost reminds me of like a lemon vodka, or something that could be akin to something you would have like some gins, for example, like maybe a dry gin, but with less botanicals, not as much like juniper, but still very, very bright and very fruity, and it seems almost refreshing. I think this would grow great in lemonade or peach tea. I think this would really do well with. If you wanted to have any summer cocktail, I think this would be a fantastic vodka to use. I actually use this vodka in my drink for the UAP, the Unidentified Alcoholic Phenomenon, which is based all about Bob Lazar, who was essentially the face of UFO conspiracies in the 90s. And he has such crazy claims, and his story is fantastic. It's really fascinating. Make sure to watch the episode when that is out for sure. So, like I said, this smells so fruity, so refreshing. Let's give it a taste. Immediately, a slight sting, similar to this one. This is also 40% in alcohol, but way smoother. This one stings a little bit more, has a little bit more burn going all the way down from the tongue and then down the throat and into the chest. This one, slight sting at the tip of the tongue. If you let it rest there for a bit, you'll kind of feel the burn. Similarly, a little bit of tingling towards the back, along the sides of the tongue as you swallow. But then once it gets down into the chest, the slightest burn, if that. Very smooth, very easily mixable with pretty much any flavor, I think, because after all, it is vodka, but I think this would go fantastic with anything citrus, anything refreshing. Summer cocktails, this would be wonderful. It could probably even replace gin in certain circumstances. It's just not as botanical as gin, so consider that. The last vodka that we have here today is KOZUBA vodka. This is a potato vodka. Now, KOZUBA is a brand, a distillery that it was actually founded in St. Petersburg. They also had a distillery back in Poland. It was founded by, I believe, 2 brothers and their father. Could be 3 brothers and their father. They actually have on the label, the logo for them is 3 fine young gentlemen in tuxedos with black bow ties and little mustaches, some pencil mustaches. So I love the branding of KOZUBA. They're near downtown St. Petersburg, a lesser known distillery considering the quality of their products. Not only do they make vodka, Polish style potato vodka, they also make different whiskeys, and they a particular type of whiskey that's a Polish style whiskey, and then they also make their own cordials with fresh fruit, and that is otherworldly good stuff, and I'll be sure to do a review of that too. I actually bought some of theirs, but let's give this potato vodka a different taste. Like I said, so the big difference between these two and this one, beyond the fact that this is a Polish style made in America type of vodka, this is a potato vodka, these two are grain vodkas. So already this one's gonna be a little bit more savory. It's gonna tend to be more savory, not as sweet, which will make it very easily mixable and probably pretty easily shootable, but both of these are very, very easily shootable in my opinion. But let's give it a smell. Yeah, immediately more savory, a little bit more vegetal in the aromas. You can tell that this is made from potatoes. Not nearly as bright or citrusy as the Outer Space, not nearly as sweet as the Russian Standard. So this one has a aromatic profile on its own, which I imagine is also going to translate to its flavor. Surprisingly sweeter than I anticipated, actually. I have had this vodka before. It's been a minute, so it's almost like tasting it anew. And initially, a little sweet at the tip of the tongue. You know, your tongue receptors at the front normally taste sweetness and then saltiness on the sides and then bitterness towards the back. And as it travels, you know, once you swallow the shot or you taste the vodka, towards the back it starts to increase the bitterness and more of the savoriness of this vodka. Whereas these two are a little bit more refreshing. This one's more sweet, this one's more citrusy, this one has a bitter aftertaste. ever so subtly, but I think it makes a great combination with pretty much any cocktail that you want to add it to. This would go well with citrus fruits, this would go with dark fruits, this would go well with savory drinks. So I think it's so versatile because it really doesn't have a majorly impactful profile. It's not going to add any heaviness because there isn't a ton of sugar content, at least on the tongue. It doesn't feel that heavy in the stomach either. As far as burn, subtle numminess on the tongue, not nearly as bad as the Russian Standard. I think of the three, this has the most numminess on the tongue and probably the biggest burn all the way down to the chest. Then this one is the second, and this one is the third. This one's the most smooth, probably that Meteorite coming in, but fantastic throughout. If you guys are ever in the Tampa Bay area, I highly suggest giving KOZUBA a taste. They have a very cool distillery. I've actually been there before. I actually shot a little video there before. If you guys look back through our Instagram, you may be able to find it. And but these two are also excellent, and I'm sure you'll be able to find them at your liquor stores as well. They are all fantastic, and depending on which cocktail that you want, each one could play a different role. So give a taste to your vodkas, and for all of my vodka lovers out there, remember that history is better with a drink. Cheers.